so thrilled to know we were regular today.
Good. I'm regular almost every day, unless I have to take
try.
an antibiotic, and then it's like, where's the Miralax?
Where
is it? I know I still got some left from 2022.
I will have it for the rest of my life. There's no way I can have enough of it.
Oh yeah. So you are Salt Lake. Do you even have a chance to listen to anything?
What do you mean?
Did you listen to a song today?
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
I just lived my best life, you know.
Got you.
I just tried to survive.
I think by the end of this
thrive.
by the end of this month, if you hadn't deleted something, it'll be time to delete again. Because you deleted something middle of last month. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was something terrible.
Should start keeping up with songs that have been deleted, and then we can do a Jessica Benson show deleted songs playlist for the people.
It will be the most insane combination of songs and genres of music that you could ever ask for.
Absolutely. Did you want to hold on to vacation talk? Can you give us a little bit of it? How was it?
Oh, it was magical. It's unfortunate to learn that I am indeed built to sit on a beach and do nothing for 5 straight days. That's a tough thing to learn.
Did you read a book?
I wish I was built different. I did. I read a great book. It's called Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Not former Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins, but Taylor Jenkins Reid, who's one of my favorite authors. I cried like a baby. Of course I did. It's a love story at NASA in the 80s. It was great. It was good. I read a book. I slept.
You had one of those big ass beach hats?
I had a bucket hat.
Okay, so it wasn't a huge floppy hat?
Kind of.
Okay.
No, I don't have the floppy hat. I feel like a kid playing dress up still. One day I'll enter my floppy hat era.
Give it time. You'll get one. You're about 3 or 4 years away from floppy hat.
Yeah, I feel like late 30s, early 40s is floppy hat time.
Yeah, that's
I'm ready for it though.
Age.
I'll be ready for it when it comes. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, July 7th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from not the Grind City Media Studios. I am in Salt Lake City, where the Grizzlies will play their second of 3 Summer League games tonight. TJ Hurt back in studio. We are back at it again. Coming up on today's show, the Grizzlies Summer League. We'll get into it, all the happenings here. The free agency moratorium ended yesterday in the NBA. We'll get into all the signings and trades that became official. We'll talk about how things ended up for the Grizzlies. They added a new big man over the weekend. Gary Parrish will join us to continue the conversation. We got All-Star announcements in baseball, the WNBA. We have Hot Mess Express. It's a Monday. You know what we say. I'm back. And I lost my AirPod.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
That boy is mine.
Are you ready?
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Tony Allen joining us. I believe Hey!
Young TA with a fresh chop. That boy sliced today, boy. You say that boy got the tape on the side? Okay, TA.
Hey, and I like how you blurred out your background so we can't see that La Quinta this time.
Can't see the hole in the wall, TA.
Can't see the hole in the wall.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes me off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to me. Welcome back to everybody. I hope everyone had a nice, relaxing, long holiday weekend. My first show back in a minute after I had a nice getaway to Antigua, and then I had a quick stop in Seattle for July 4th and my mom's birthday, and then I'm here in Salt Lake City for Summer League. I have hit all 4 time zones in the United States in 10 days, which is why the bags under my eyes are designer, but I am hyped to be back. I am hyped to be reunited with CJ and to talk about his favorite subject of the offseason, Summer League. CJ, the Grizzlies are 1-0. 1-0. Well, and they beat the world champions over the weekend. Oh my God, can you contain your excitement?
Yeah, yay. I saw 9 innings of baseball. So just add 9 innings to my baseball counter. I did that.
Wow.
Speaking
9
of fun,
whole innings.
9 innings, man. Went to AutoZone Park. And wow. Woo. Hey.
Wow. Camera
Y'all
work back in
doing?
action.
How you doing? Went to AutoZone Park, man, and saw the Redbirds play 4th of July, caught some fireworks. Everybody was there. I didn't realize everybody was there, but I had like 7 or 8 different friends there. D-Nell was there with his lovely wife. And just didn't realize it because it was too damn hot to be walking around AutoZone Park on the 4th of July. So we came in, went straight to our seats, sat the hell down. Well, first I went to try and get me some barbecue nacho gear. And they didn't have hats that fit my head. And then so we went and sat down and watched the game. So yeah, I'm at 10 and a half innings, I think, of baseball. Not to derail your wonderful summer league analysis content. Good stuff.
Well, don't worry, CJ.
I heard that Gigi and Jaylen looked really good. Looked almost like 2 dudes who shouldn't be there. So like, yay, that's good.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. We have all week to talk about Summer League because the Grizzlies are here with another game Monday night, which is tonight, another game tomorrow on Tuesday, and then they'll go to Las Vegas where they'll continue their Summer League coverage. And I know CJ loves Summer League so much, he's going to be on our Grind City Media pregame show tonight for the Grizzlies Jazz game. But I will do you a favor, CJ, and I will start outside of Summer League, and we'll work our way back into the happenings because, yes, Jaylen Wells looked awesome, as you would hope for Jaylen Wells to look, and I was very impressed with Gigi Jackson and Cam Spencer, and we'll hear from Jaylen Wells and Cam Spencer throughout today's show. But before we get into all that action from Game 1, I did want to let you know I was very bummed to miss daily renditions of our favorite song, reportedly, allegedly, as we put it to rest, because now all the deals can be talked about now that the NBA's free agency moratorium is over and those deals start rolling in and becoming official, including our first ever 7-team trade in NBA history that went through this weekend. The Kevin Durant trade to Houston giving new meaning to multi-team trade because it took 7 to make it work. And technically, CJ, it took 8 when you include the Memphis Grizzlies, because the Memphis Grizzlies are a small part of it, a small part of history, an asterisk of sorts, because I know everyone started to freak out a little bit when that got laid out and Shams had his tweet and it had the Warriors with the Jemai Meshek pick, even though they had given his draft rights to the Grizzlies. But it is the Grizzlies who got his draft rights, which means it is the Grizzlies who got Jemai Meshek, and he is with the team here in Salt Lake City. It's just the wonky language around the Kevin Durant trade, but ultimately, yes, Jemai Meshek is a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. I am not sure what his plans are officially here in Salt Lake City because he hasn't been able to practice with the team until this trade became official. He has been here. He was at the end of the bench for the Grizzlies game against the Thunder on Saturday. He was really active, really involved, really, pumping the guys up, being out there during the huddles and whatnot, but he couldn't play. He hasn't practiced. They have shoot around this morning. So after today's show, I'm going to head over to the University of Utah for shoot around, and we should find out what the plan is for Meshek. Maybe he plays tonight, maybe he plays tomorrow, but he is eligible to play going forward. And for example, Will Richard, who was the player that the Warriors got in the trade, he played in their game last night in California. But excited to see Meshek, hopefully. The other big move for the Grizzlies over the weekend, we must say goodbye to Jay Huff. Jay Huff is no longer a member of the Memphis Grizzlies as they traded him to the Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers lose Miles Turner. They gain the reverse dunk king, the Huff stuff, the Huff pass. Truly want to give a thank you to Jay Huff. Just a total gem of a person. And I remember at Media Day last year, because if you go back to Summer League last year, this is a guy who was not in the Grizzlies Summer League program, was playing elsewhere, and the Grizzlies saw him, scouted him out, added him to the team on a 2-way. And we come into Media Day last year, and he was putting bottle caps on everyone's heads at Media Day. And at one point I was asking the players who the funniest guy on the team was, and the most universal answer was Jay Huff. And he was just truly a light in the locker room, a light of a person to be around. His wife is a total sweetheart. Just great people. Wish them the best of luck in Indiana. But that comes through, and you're kind of like, that's weird, given the Grizzlies' front court instability of the moment. I wasn't here for the Jaren extension signing and the Jaren injury news. And I will say, just a real buzzkill, CJ, when you're sipping a pina colada on the beach in Antigua and you get a Grizz PR update. I thought Grizz PR gave me hives and gave me PTSD, but you don't know how bad it can be until you're in complete relaxation zone. And then you get that notification, and it's not.
Why are you getting work notifications?
It's a Twitter notification.
You're
CJ.
on vacation. Why not turn all of that off?
Because I still wanted to know what was happening.
Things I love as much as Summer League, the grind never stopping.
The grind never stops.
I love when the grind don't stop.
Captain, I got to know what's happening. I wanted to know if the Jaren extension. I wanted to see Jaren Jackson Jr.'s nice tweets about Memphis. And after my 8th pina colada and reading Jaren Jackson Jr.'s tweets about how much he loves the M and the M teaching you how you are, I was like, I love the M. And the M has taught me who I am. And I'm sitting on a beach and God, I miss Memphis. Not enough to leave Antigua in that moment, but enough to be devastated when the day later comes and you're like, oh, great. So you get the extension taken care of. And now Jaren Jackson Jr. might miss the beginning of the season because he has turf toe. And of course, it's not just normal turf toe. It's surgery necessary for the turf toe. But I am choosing to remain positive because I saw that one dude on Twitter who's a trainer, I think, what was his name? Jeff Stotts, who said that the average for NBA surgery cases is less than 3 months. So give me Jaren back at the beginning of the season. All that to say, when they when they trade Jay Huff, that's subtracting another member of this Grizzlies front court, I should say, where there's already some issues injury-wise going into the year with Jaren, with obviously the Zach Edey injury. And just of note, now that the moratorium is over, that Jaren extension will be made official. It has not been made official by the team yet, but we will start to get all of the official Grizzlies announcements of this extension. We'll get the official announcement on the Cam Spencer signing, the official announcement on the Santi Aldama signing. But for the Jaren piece, his will come last because essentially you're going to continue to see the moves around the margins to make the salary work for Jaren's extension. So if there is the rumored Cole Anthony buyout that continues to be something that swirls around the team. And then you look at the Jay Huff trade as a piece of that, right? Like that, this is a series of moves to come that allow for the money to work here. And Jay Huff going to the Pacers is basically step one. So the Grizzlies get a future second round pick and a future second round pick swap. And then they reportedly go out and get Jock Landale to add to their front court. As of Sunday night, that had not been made official by the Grizzlies. The Rockets have given Jock Landale their goodbye post. And so you lose one big, you bring in another. I heard from one of the Rockets reporters, like almost immediately when this news broke, and she just wanted to point out that Jock Landale is a really great guy and someone who is great for the culture of the team. And that is something that I don't think should go overlooked with all of the Grizzlies offseason additions as we sit here on July 7th, from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to Ty Jerome to now Jock Landale. Just three players who are consistently described as great teammates, great locker room guys, fierce competitors. That's something that felt the Grizzlies formula was lacking last season, and it does feel important. I loved the Ty Jerome signing that happened while I was gone. And now with Jock Landale, I do think it's this prototype of veteran to add to the culture of the Grizzlies group going into next season, where we're now obviously going all in on the build around John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. CJ, what did you think?
I don't know. Honestly, truthfully, did he play a whole lot? I saw this
Jock
name.
Landale?
I saw this name pop up and I was like, okay, where's he from again? It's like, all right, Houston, cool. Let's just go to box scores and see how many minutes he's playing in games. It's like he didn't seem to find his way onto the court a whole lot for the Houston Rockets. Now, the Houston Rockets did have a bit of depth at the center position. So you're talking about Sengun, you're talking about Steven Adams. So it's going to be hard to crack the rotation with those two ahead of you. So I don't want to take anything away from what he will be here. It's just that I don't know, because my job isn't to evaluate other teams' talent, right? Like I'm not the general manager of the Memphis Grizzlies. I will say I still kind of trust Zach Kleiman. I still kind of trust what this Grizzlies front office does from a scouting standpoint. So if they've watched enough of him and talked to enough people, and they have gotten the good word in that, hey, this is a guy who is better than what you would think a third string center would be on a Houston Rockets team that was pretty damn good last year. He's good enough to play minutes in the NBA. Now I kind of have to shrug my shoulders and say, well, he's here. Good luck. Here we go. We'll find out real quick, because there is a very, very little front court depth, and specifically for those small forward out of there. Just power forward, center depth on this team right now. Very little of it going about right now. So he comes in and he's absolutely going to get a chance to play. He's absolutely going to get a chance to stick. So if they've identified that as one of those dudes on the margins who you can go out there and get and bring him in, and if he is a good locker room guy for whatever that's worth, and if he can contribute and set screens, good luck. Here we go. Let's find out about him. I'm not going to sit up here and lie like I've been studying this dude since he came out of St. Mary's. No, St. Mary's, right? Australian. That's what the Wikipedia page says. It's like,
from Australia.
Okay, here we go. Let's find out.
It's been a minute since we had a big white dude with an accent at the center position. And ultimately, like when you look at it with Jock Landale, one of the reasons he didn't play because of the depth of the Rockets is Steven Adams ended up usurping him in that rotation, and the necessity of Steven Adams for that Rockets group in the run, and his new contract with the Houston Rockets this offseason. So you look at it like, okay, so you got somebody who lost out on the job to Steven Adams, who used to be on this team. But I will say, when it comes to the versatility of bigs that Jock Landale provides versus a Jay Huff, because I saw, some people immediately, Jay Huff really was a fan favorite because, one, reverse dunks are fun, and two, he was like a little dose of excitement. Jock Landale is a big dose of just a physical big guy who does the dirty stuff, from the rebounding to the screen setting. He's a good passer, one of the better offensive rebounders in the league last season when he did play. And I think he really gives you a legit fill-in at center with Edie out to start the year. And obviously you hope Jaren is back by the beginning, but you just don't know for sure. And so when you're looking at what the front court is without Jaren and Edie, it's Brandon Clark and Santi Aldama and previously Jay Huff. And now you flip-flop that out with Jock Landale. And Landale gives you someone who is not Brandon Clark and Santi Aldama. Like, he is not them. He is the emphasis on physical. He will go get boards. So I do appreciate that it diversifies the front court options that, as you mentioned, CJ, are on the thinner side with those injuries to start the year. I think it also shows a continued belief from the Grizzlies that, the long game here is Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey. And I will say it over and over and over again this offseason. Like, this team next year and beyond goes as far as Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. takes them. And obviously getting Zach Edey back into the mix is a big piece of it. But if Jock Landale can serve as a, certifiable filler in the meantime, and I'm not even entirely convinced Jock Landale's your starter at the beginning of the season. Like, if Jaren is healthy, perhaps you do see Brandon and Jaren as your starting front court, and then Jock Landale comes off the bench. But it just gives you a different look that you didn't have prior to this. And again, it all comes down to the money moves for this Grizzlies team that will ultimately work to them signing the extension for Jaren Jackson Jr. And that is the most important thing of the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about that part of it. And then after you solve that part, getting the Jaren extension done, agree to it, find a way to make it work, getting dudes in on the margins for those minimum type deals is how you make all of that money that Jaren's going to be getting work. Great. Once you do that, though, then it becomes, all right, can one of these dudes pop? And right. It's summer league season, and so it's a lot of popping going on, right? Like, okay, which one of these dudes are going to start popping off here? Sort of like popcorn or fireworks. Fireworks just popped.
Did you see good fireworks at the Red Sox game?
We were at the AutoZone Park. So
I know. Yes. I was asking how they were.
Yes, we saw. Also, it was crazy because the game is going on and everybody's doing their fireworks show during the game. So pitchers are pitching as fireworks are going off. Incredible moment. Felt like I was in the Sandlot. But if what's his name, Jock Landale can
baby.
America. If Jock Landale can be one of those dudes who ends up sticking, then it's like, okay, here's another piece that is on an affordable deal that we can roll with for the seasons to come. And then if he doesn't, it's not like it's a super expensive deal. It's not like it'll be super hard to get off of, I can't imagine. So, give him his money and send him on his way. Tell him good job and thank you very, very much. I think that you hit the nail on the head. If it's true that I don't know, I hadn't seen this dude play, but if he's a different type of big than what Santi and what Brandon Clark and what Jaren and honestly what Jay Huff is. Those are more slender guys, one, and three of them do most of their work on the perimeter, either taking shots and making shots from three or putting the ball on the floor from the wing spot and then getting downhill and getting to the rim. So if this guy is a big bruising type of big, somebody who can go out there and be a physical force inside, then absolutely that is something that has value on this roster is currently constructed because you only got one of those right now, and that's Zach Edey. So you do need, like you said, a bit more diversity at the center and power forward spot. If he can offer that at a high enough level to see minutes in the NBA, then hey, good stuff. And again, if he can't, this is not going to be super hard to move off that contract. I think the Rockets bought him out also. Then they cut him, they just paid him, cut him. Like, here's your $8 million or $6 million, whatever million you got. Here it is. Good luck to you. God bless. Thank you for your service. So the Grizzlies can do something similar as they continue to start looking for that piece. Because there is a need for that type of big. Somebody, because Ja Morant does his best work when there's somebody who can set a ball screen and get him free. So if he works, great. You got it. If he doesn't, fine. Send him on his way. And then you got to get back out there and find it again. Kind of surprised. And listen, we just don't make enough lob threats. But kind of surprised that there wasn't not a true look, but they weren't able to find a true lob threat to pair with Ja. They haven't been just yet at the forward center position. But again, if you've got slender Santi, slender Jaren, slender Brandon Clark, most lob threats are slender dudes who can go up there and get up. So you don't need another slender power forward center. You need somebody, like you said, bulkier, somebody who's going to bang and be physical. So we'll find out. If it works, great. And again, if it doesn't, fine, go back out there and hit the drawing board and find another one of those for real cheap.
And if you want to be recklessly optimistic, as I always am, I know you missed me.
I did
wait for the Summer League conversation. I found myself watching a Jock Landale interview yesterday, thanks to our old friend Funaki Stats, the Steven Adams Stats superstar over on X/Twitter. And he shared this interview with Jock Landale where he was talking about practices, and particularly like when he came to Houston, he made a point to make that during practices, the guys who were not logging a lot of minutes in gameplay were still heavily involved in essentially like stay ready games at practice so that everyone would feel like they were playing, keeping the confidence up. He was part of a group that would box after practice. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Good locker room guy. And like, that's all
he would do what after practice?
He would box with some of the players.
What?
Box, like, boom, 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 boom.
So they just, after practice, throwing hands?
Yeah,
all right.
Just to keep it going. Hey, listen, where was Houston in the playoffs this year? Where were the Grizzlies in the playoffs this year?
I can't remember where Houston was. Were they third?
They lost in the second round to the Warriors.
Were they third?
Second. They were the 2 seeds. They were the 2 seeds.
I thought the Lakers were the 2. See, like, I can't remember.
No.
Okay, so Houston was the 2?
Life comes fast.
All right.
Life comes fast. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We will talk about the Summer League of it all and a big piece of the Grizzlies' long-term plans. The guy named Jaylen Wells, who I would probably be ready to put in bubble wrap for the rest of Summer League after his Game 1 performance. We'll see what that actually ends up being the case, an opportunity for him and the Grizzlies to play later tonight in Utah. We'll hear from Jaylen Wells. We'll get into what we liked from Game 1, what we can look ahead to in Game 2 when we come back.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals Series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience, collaborate with national and local artists, and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up and show out at Open Call Auditions. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind, first of the 3 playoff events.
Watch me take flight. It's a different sight when you take it to this height. And you know this. We them boys step into the wars, ready to give me my awards. See, I got starstruck. I got nothing to lose, so I'm letting it loose. Out here paying my dues. I got starstruck.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, Grind City? It is time to get loud because the FedEx St. Jude Championship is back at TPC Southwind August 6th through the 10th. We are talking the top 70 players on the PGA Tour right here in Memphis. Fan activities, iconic Memphis food, and drama on every hole. Don't miss it. Grab your tickets now at FedExChampionship.com. And heads up, kids 15 and under getting free with a ticketed adult. Welcome back. Welcome back. It has gotten incredibly sunny here in my hotel room, and I decided to put sunglasses on.
Instead of
view of
closing the blinds?
Yeah, but then I'd be in the dark.
You got it.
This hotel lighting is it? You think this hotel lighting looks good? No.
Where's your ring light? You're supposed to be a professional.
I also have the ring light. It's on right now. I guess you're right. I could close it and put the ring light on. You're correct. That's okay.
No, put the glasses back. I like the glasses look. Put the glasses back on.
I have to talk seriously about Summer League, CJ.
Oh no, the perfect time to put the glasses on. Go ahead and put them on.
This is a serious part of the job here.
Okay.
Listen, okay, I know you are a Summer League hater. I understand that. I accept that. And for everyone else out there who sits on the side of Summer League is pointless, that's fine. But for those of us who sat there on Saturday and realized we got to watch Memphis Grizzlies asterisk basketball for the first time in months, I'm with you because I actually was giddy walking to the arena on Saturday. I didn't have like the most pep in my step because I got off the flight at like 3:30 and I had to be at the arena at 4:45 for our pregame show, and it was a little stressful getting in there. But once I was there, I was excited to have the opportunity to watch the Grizzlies play the hated Oklahoma City Thunder and get revenge on a team that swept the Grizzlies in the first round. And by a team, I mean, there was a player who had logged minutes in the NBA Finals who played for the Thunder on Saturday, AJ Mitchell. And between AJ Mitchell for the Thunder and Jaylen Wells for the Grizzlies, we did get the very early, always consistent narrative of there will always be a player or two that you watch in Summer League and you say, that dude is too good for Summer League. And that is Jaylen Wells for the Grizzlies. And AJ Mitchell, too. Like, those were two Summer League men amongst Summer League boys. And from the Jaylen Wells perspective of it all, we haven't seen him since that horrific injury in April that thankfully led to, I say, just a broken wrist. But when you saw him go down against the Hornets, there was fear that it could have been so much worse and getting stretchered off. And obviously he's gone through the work. He's back with the wrist. He's able to play in Summer League. He wanted to play in Summer League, even though he was a first-team All-Rookie in his rookie season last year for the Grizzlies. And you saw him immediately back into lockdown defender mode, which was fun to see. I think he was maybe a little just hesitant in terms of falling, and especially falling on his wrist. He had a fall early in the first half where he went down and grimaced a little bit. And then it was like it clicked in his head, like, I'm okay. And he just popped right back up, and he had a great defensive play on one end and ended up hitting a three on the other. And I just thought, from the standpoint of the Grizzlies truly believing in Jaylen Wells being perhaps their new number two, right, with Desmond Bane out. And so you shift Jaylen Wells over from the three of the two. You have KCP at the three. You obviously have great hope in what Cedric Coward eventually will give to you. And we'll get into the Cedric Coward of it all, who is not here in Salt Lake at the moment and is doubtful for the Grizzlies through this Summer League process, and still TBD what his availability would be and if he'll join the team once they are in Las Vegas. But you need Jaylen Wells to be awesome. And I know that it's just Summer League and it's Summer League against other Summer League players, but Jaylen Wells was precisely what you wanted to see from a confidence standpoint. He had 8 of their first 14 points, 20 overall. You saw him handle the ball a little bit. I think he had a couple assists early on. wouldn't mind seeing more of that if he is continuing to play. I want to be perfectly clear. I do not need Jaylen Wells to play another minute of Summer League. I'm not sure that Jaylen Wells cares that the rest of us don't need him to play another minute, because he just likes to be out there. Like, he loves playing basketball. And it was fun getting the opportunity to chat with him after the game, after the Grizzlies win. I think we have that interview. So let's go ahead and roll this conversation with Jaylen Wells, and then we'll come back out and talk about the other contributors from that game.
Come back with 20 points. How'd it feel out there tonight?
It was fun. You know, I didn't really think I would think about the injury until I think I walked in the locker room, just saw my jersey hanging up, and I was like, it's been a minute. It's been a minute for sure.
How'd the wrist follow through feel on that shot? It looked good.
It felt good. You know, I'm back to 100%. I don't feel any pain, no discomfort, so blessed to be able to walk away with that.
Always nice to start Summer League with a win here in Salt Lake City. What did you like from the team tonight?
I think our pace. I mean, we were relentless. I feel like we kind of played a little annoying. Like, I feel like the other team felt like we were a little annoying, you know, aggressive, playing fast, you know, picking up full court, all that. So, I think we got a good team, and we're all in together, you know, going for one goal.
Saw the full court press, saw a 5-second violation. You all forced 25 turnovers. Just how big is defensive intensity in terms of what Coach Tomas Isolo is looking for from you guys this summer?
Yeah, Tomas told us, you know, we want to be a team that can win without making shots. So, I mean, that happens on the defensive end, you know, creating turnovers, getting out, just playing fast. So, I mean, that's what we came in trying to do. I'm glad we executed it.
And for you, coming off of last season, why was it so important for you to be with this group and play here in Summer League?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing basketball, so it's fun. It's always an opportunity to get better. And, I mean, be able to play with guys like Gigi, Cam, them, and just gain chemistry and stuff like that. And just be able to work on things, you know. I think tonight, or was it nighttime? Kind of. I was, you know, just trying to pick up full court. You know, I was getting blown by a few times, but, you know, I mean, those are things you got to kind of work on, work through to, you know, get better for the season.
What are the biggest elements of your game that you're looking to improve upon as you get these next couple weeks?
Yeah, playmaking, creating my shot, not getting stuck with the ball. You know, just keep playing fast pace. You know, that's how Tomas wants to play. So, you know, just being able to be more versatile on the offensive end, and then defensive end, you know, just being more aggressive and causing chaos and creating turnovers.
And finally, you mentioned being back out here with Gigi, with Cam. Gigi, in his post-game interview, talked about how much you inspire him and your energy keeps it up. Just how fun is it to be back, running it back with someone that you played in your first Summer League last year, and now you guys get to kind of be the veterans of Summer League?
Yeah, I love it. Throughout this summer, you know, me and Gigi been like two peas in a pod. We've been doing the same workouts, you know, getting in the gym together. You know, we basically wear the same thing to practice every day. So it's fun just to be able to work with Gigi, and, you know, he's a great person, great personality, so good to play with him.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jaylen. Congrats.
Thank you.
Perfect. It is truly crazy how fast growing up happens in the NBA, because I was talking to Jaylen after the interview wrapped up, and we were reflecting on a year ago in Las Vegas Summer League when I interviewed him following the game where I think he hit 6 or 7 threes. Like, he went off. It was his real, like, coming out moment for the Grizzlies in Summer League. And just talking to him after that game versus now talking to him about a year later, where he ended up being a starter for the Grizzlies for the majority of the season, ended up putting in a first-team all-rookie season. He was a second-round pick. Like, he went from, you know, his Sonoma State to Washington State to being a second-round pick for the Grizzlies to trying to make a flash in Summer League to now being someone that they, you know, expect to really rely upon moving forward. And I'm constantly so impressed every time I talk with him, and the maturity and the evolution, not just in his game, but just in him as a person, really stood out. And I think it's great that he's here with the group, kind of serving as that veteran leader, which is so funny because he's still a baby. And then speaking of a baby, like Gigi Jackson, I know people started talking about it going into Summer League, but the fact that he is the youngest player on this roster by like 400 days, like 15 months younger than every other person on the Summer League roster. And for him to also have 20 points in the first game for the Grizzlies, I thought he played really well. I thought he had the joy back in his game that through a rocky second season kind of came in and out at times. Everybody loves the infectious personality of Gigi Jackson. And from the beginning of that game on Saturday, the fans love him. Like the younger fans who were at the game were going back and forth with him, screaming at him, and they're screaming like, "We love you, Gigi." And at one point he just yells back, it's like, "I love you too." And they kind of interacted, but I appreciated seeing the exuberance from Gigi Jackson back. I also appreciated seeing, I thought he made really good efforts defensively. That's something that he can still continue to improve upon. You saw a couple rim contests. There was one where he ended up fouling on it, but I thought the potential was there. I'd love to see him flex a little bit more as a passer. He had 0 assists, but as it pertained to both him and Jaylen, like those 20 points came within the rhythm of the Grizzlies offense. It didn't feel like Jaylen Wells and Gigi Jackson were out there trying to chuck shots up and be the heroes of Summer League. It felt like they were just like effective tools within what the Grizzlies and what Tomas Isolo is trying to do, because as you know, we discussed going into this, Tomas Isolo is the coach of this thing. And so this really gives it an opportunity to see, you know, how he anticipates running the offense. I thought the defensive intensity was like crazy for a Summer League game, considering that you are full court pressing, considering that you are forcing 5-second violations. That was really impressive to see. And watching Tomas and the rest of the coaching staff that's with him here in Salt Lake kind of work together and start getting their reps in too, because that's what this is all about, is getting reps in for young players, for a coaching staff that is new. Tomas Isolo coached 15 games last season as interim head coach, and now gets to really go like gung-ho, full on with his system, with how he wants the Grizzlies philosophy to be. So in terms of the most important things from game one, I think those are the biggest takeaways. Also, Cam Spencer. No one will be surprised. Cam Spencer wants to win a Summer League championship. I asked him, like, what do you want to work on this summer? He said, I want to win a championship. I was like, wow, that is the most Cam Spencer answer you could get. And CJ really wants the Grizzlies to win a Summer League championship so we can have a parade finally and hang the banner. But for Cam Spencer just to have that attitude, his shot looked great. He had a couple deep threes that were just so pretty on the release, despite being like insane difficulty level. His ability to handle the ball. I think you saw exactly what you wanted to see from the guys who had the highest of expectations going into game one, and you can't really ask for much more.
The things that I've read and the people who I listen to, like you, who were there, they all say the same things about those three in particular, where it is, hey, they were getting theirs in such a way that lines up to how they'll be getting theirs in an NBA game with the team. Yeah. So it's not, to your point, it's not, all right, Gigi, here you go. Here's the ball. Go one-on-one, go ISO. It's not a whole lot of that. Here, Jaylen, go make a play for somebody. It's not a whole lot of that. They're getting it in a flow that people are imagining will be similar to what the flow of the game will be like with the Memphis Grizzlies. And if that's the case, that is great. The thing that I look at when I watch Summer League is, okay, cool, this person is going off, but he won't be able to do that in the NBA because the team he plays on already has guys that do it that way, and they're much better at that than what he is right now. So what else can he do? And it sounds like from the Grizzlies standpoint, is not that. It is, okay, Jaylen Wells is getting it in the flow of the offense. Gigi, who I think has struggled last year, getting points and getting shots up in the flow of the offense. At times he comes in and the offense gets a little clunky because he's not quite sure what he should be doing offensively. He also has a tendency to get lost, completely and totally lost on the defensive side of the court. So if you're telling me that there's none of that loss on the defensive side of the court thing happening, and he's getting points and getting shots up in the flow of the offense, if that's what y'all are telling me, hey, that's great. Love to see it. Good. Happy for him. Cam Spencer is what Cam Spencer is, though. He's a lunatic, and you got to have one of those on the team because he's going to try at every single turn. And it's not just games, right? It's not just regular season basketball games. It's not just summer league games. But if there's a drill in practice, you think Cam Spencer doesn't want to win that? Absolutely, he wants to win that. And then players sort of feed off of that type of guy in the locker room and on the court, where it's, oh, Cam is busting his ass. Oh, I'm going to be Cam. If I don't do anything else today, I'm going to be Cam. And then that allows you to get a bit better. You talked about Jaylen Wells looking like he didn't belong. Did Gigi also look like he didn't belong? Because that was some of the stuff that I read. It was three players who didn't belong at that particular summer league game. It was Jaylen, it was homeboy for the Thunder, and it was Gigi.
AJ Mitchell. Yeah, I put Gigi right on the fringe just because he is still so young, right? Like, I don't have any issue with Gigi continuing to play through Summer League because he is the youngest player on that Summer League roster. And so there's only good things that can come. And I know Grizzlies fans, when I say there's only good things that can come, they're like, we've seen bad as it pertains to the dreaded I word in this organization. But I just think from a standpoint of getting comfortable, confident, and getting accustomed with Coach Isolo too. Like, I think that's a big piece of all of this. And I would anticipate that he'll continue to play a bit. I think we'll probably see Jaylen Wells at least in another game here. It's a back-to-back Monday, Tuesday in Salt Lake City, tonight against the tonight against the Jazz, and then tomorrow against the Sixers. And then when they're in Las Vegas, perhaps there's one game at least where all of the quote unquote older guys play as well, or the established members of the Grizzlies organization. But we will see. We'll talk about the rookies on the other side. Gary Parrish is going to join us. Cedric Coward, doubtful designation for Summer League. We'll get into what that means. I was really impressed with Javon Small in his beginning minutes for the Grizzlies in Saturday's win. And then hopefully we'll see Jemai Meshack either tonight or tomorrow. We'll get into all that and more with GP on the other side.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, it could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep. The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals Series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, welcome back. It is Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of the Gary Parrish Show, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. GP, it's so great to see you.
It's wonderful to see. I've been great. It's wonderful to see you, and by you, I mean I'm just staring right into a camera. How are you?
Oh, it's great. It's sunny. It's morning here, even earlier morning than it is there in Salt Lake City, Utah. But I'm amped because it means I get to watch another Summer League game tonight. Are you pro Summer League or are you a Summer League hater like CJ?
Well, I don't know why I would be a Summer League hater. I mean, it's something to do. It's something to do.
Because it's the Christian way to be, Gary.
Perhaps it's the Christian way to be. I'm not going to argue about what. I don't know that I'm equipped to argue about what is the Christian way to be. I'll take CJ's word on that. I don't mind Summer League. It's something. We have things to talk about that we otherwise would not have. Are they important things? Perhaps not. But it's content, and we are in the business of content. So play another one tonight. I'll turn it on.
I'm with you. Play another one tonight. Play another one tomorrow. I wish it was less time between that game and the one in Las Vegas when they end up over there after they travel there following tomorrow night's game. Listen, it was the kind of game from the Grizzlies and the performance of Jaylen Wells that you want to expect, but you just never know how it's going to go. Summer League can be weird. And I think even watching the beginning of the game, it's like, oh, this is a rusty kind of gross basketball game before things settle into itself. And ultimately, Jaylen Wells has 20 points. Are you of the belief that you do not need to see Jaylen Wells anymore this Summer League? And did you ever really need to see him at all? But then also, how did you evaluate his performance?
No, I don't need to see him at all. I mean, I've seen him guard Jason Tatum. I've seen him guard, Anthony Edwards. I don't need him to see him guard some two-way player for the Thunder. I know what he's capable of. Obviously, his season ended with an injury, and so if you want to get him back on the court just sort of to see where he is in his rehab progression, fine with me. I object in no way, but I didn't need to see him perform well in Salt Lake City to know that he's going to be an important part of the Grizzlies rotation, and I was not surprised that he performed well. Now, the way, as you know, these things often go is you get a second-year player, a real rotation piece like that, comes out in first Summer League, scores 20, they'll sit him down the rest of the way. I'll let the front office make that decision, but Jaylen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer, like the full roster players who were in the starting lineup, I think showed what you wanted to see, did what you wanted them to do, and then nobody got hurt, and you got a victory. So far as I'm concerned, like Saturday was a good check, nothing but positive stuff and very little things to nitpick.
I do think in terms of having Tomas Isolo being the coach here and getting the opportunity to develop chemistry with some of these younger guys and a chance to actually get into some of the sets that he wants to run with real players who are NBA players who aren't fighting for a roster spot per se or a two-way spot, but are actually intended to be utilized, as is the case with Jaylen Wells. And there's nothing but good things that can come with that. I know some people appropriately get nervous, like put him in bubble wrap, sit him, I don't want to risk anything. And there is truth in that. Like I will never forget seeing the reaction of Zach Edey after he came back in Las Vegas and rolled that ankle again, and just like the devastation that he had in that moment. And that's a long way back, and now we're dealing with a whole other ankle situation with Zach Edey. But I do think there is this intent here of this is the beginning of Tomas Isolo's system in Memphis. And this is the beginning of, I know he had the 15 games as interim head coach, but like there is a reason he is here in Salt Lake City being the head of this team and figuring things out with some of these younger players who will ultimately, they hope, be relied upon for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I would just put that in the category of can't hurt, right? I don't know how helpful it is, but can't hurt. And I just don't get caught up on too much of the injury stuff with playing basketball in the summer, whether it's on television or not. Because let me just tell you, you know what NBA players largely do in the summer? Whether it's on TV or not, they play basketball. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. just got injured, reportedly playing basketball off of television. It wasn't in the summer league. It was wherever it was, doing whatever it was. But if Jaylen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer aren't playing in Salt Lake City or aren't playing in Las Vegas, they're probably going to be playing somewhere. You just won't see them. And so I'm not mad at anybody because Jaren Jackson Jr. got injured playing basketball in advance of free agency. And I'm not mad at anybody if somebody gets hurt playing basketball in Salt Lake City or Las Vegas. I just don't really believe in taking these players out of this situation to protect them, because the situation is quite literally basketball, and they're going to be doing that anyway.
Mm-hmm. When you heard the news that Cedric Coward was doubtful for Summer League, and he is not here in Salt Lake City, it is still to be determined on if he will join the team, what that will look like, if he could play. He's doubtful. He's not out, so there is still a chance. Does that raise a red flag for you, or is it simply a matter of the front office knew that Cedric Coward was coming off of this injury? He was 1 versus 0 in workouts leading up to the NBA draft, and the Grizzlies ultimately trading up to take him with the 11th pick in that draft. And you look at a player who they are confident in to come in, be a piece of this, and by the end of this season, they hope that he's a big piece of this. And it's not necessary for him to participate in Summer League, perhaps.
It's not a red flag for me because I have no tangible reason to believe it is a red flag. The Grizzlies were comfortable using a very high pick on him. The reason they moved up to get him is because they genuinely believed, and so did the rest of the NBA, that he wouldn't last all the way to 16. So it doesn't matter much to me, although to answer your initial question directly, when I first heard that Cedric Coward was doubtful for Salt Lake City, what was my reaction? Disappointed, because I would like to see him, if only because he is like one of the lottery picks. Most of us, even those of us who cover college basketball, have never actually seen playing a college basketball game. I mean, we've seen all the highlights. We've circled back and look at all the video that's available, but did we ever turn on a game? Hey, tonight, it's Tuesday, college basketball season, Cedric Coward's playing. Nobody did that. He only played 6 games last season at Washington State, and before that, he was either a non-D1 player or a mid-major player. So I wanted to see him. Disappointed that I'm not, but I'm just going to take comfort in the idea that they know what they're doing, and they're doing this for a reason. I do think there's something to be said for him just being in Salt Lake City with his teammates, regardless of, and his coaching staff, regardless of whether he's playing or not. I would like for him to be there because there's something to be gained from just breakfasts, lunches, dinners, hanging out at the hotel, just being in the locker room. You get to know people that way. So I would want him there. I'll let them explain why he's not. But in terms of just playing or not playing, not a red flag for me, at least not yet. But I should say this. I never want to tell other people how to feel, or at least I try not to tell other people how to feel. And if you're a Grizzlies fan out there with PTSD and you're sort of bottom line on all this is, so I don't follow it that closely, but what you're telling me, GP, Jess, is that the Grizzlies drafted a hurt guy? Really? We just drafted a hurt? Hold on. The franchise point guard, the franchise point guard's a hurt guy. The guy that we drafted last season in the first round, he's a hurt guy. The guy we just gave $250 million to, he's a hurt guy. And we just drafted we moved up in the draft to draft another hurt guy? If that's your very surface level evaluation of what's going on, I get it. I understand it can be frustrating, but I'm not ready to call it a big deal or, as you put it, a red flag.
Because you have watched more college basketball than any of us, I'm willing to say that easily. You clear every year. With the other rookies for the Grizzlies, we saw Javon Small for the first time on Monday. I love him. Summer League, I tweeted this for irrationally falling in love with players and their potential. Just from how he moves, how he operates so confidently. I love his grandfather and his mother who were at the game. And obviously they became kind of semi-stars in the draft process with his grandpa's response to when he got drafted. And they're so sweet and they're cheering louder than anyone in the arena, at least for the Grizzlies Thunder game. Because then the Jazz Sixers game, the environment for the Jazz Sixers game versus the Grizzlies Thunder game, night and day. Obviously, it's the Jazz. Utah fans want the Jazz to be so good, so badly. No one will shut up about it here, which makes sense. And they've been denied for some time. We'll get into that with it.
Don't let me. I apologize for interrupting, but don't ever let that as a Memphian get lost on you. This is a franchise that has, with few exceptions, been consistently good. And there's a franchise in Salt Lake City where the fans are like, man, I know the Grizz fans were really disappointed about finishing with 48 wins last season, but Jesus Lord, that sounds like a dream for us. Just don't ever lose sight of that.
And they're out here thinking that their new draft pick is being held hostage and has to come. And they're we just want him to want to be here and to play really well. When Ace Bailey hit his first 3 on Saturday, that place erupted. It was they were trying to prove to him, we are here for you and we want you to be good so badly because we are so tired of being one of the only team in the West who you're consistently these years being well, the West is so competitive. Except for the Jazz. There's no chance for the Jazz going into next year. But with the Grizzlies rookies, with Javon Small, and then obviously Jemai Mashak, who was not able to play on Saturday because the 17 trade hadn't gone through. And so the Grizzlies had not yet technically acquired his draft rights from the Warriors, but they got him over the weekend. He will be eligible to play. I do not know if he will play tonight. The Grizzlies are having shoot around later this afternoon. Should find out some more information there. But people are really excited about Jemai Mashak, and we're really disappointed that he wasn't able to play on Saturday. Just what kind of a summer league do you think he could potentially have, as he, feels like he's kind of sitting in that space where fans are so thirsty for him to be like a fan favorite because of what he represents with how he plays?
Well, he's a Vol, and I know that Tennessee basketball isn't as big in Memphis as people who don't live in Tennessee or in the area would assume. I think people would think that, you live in Memphis, Tennessee, you must care about the University of Tennessee basketball program. And in reality, most people in this area just do not. But like some do, and he is a Vol, and I guess that matters on some level. He's just such a niche player that you can sort of envision like having fun with it. Like the guy never averaged more than 6 points per game in college, but you spend a draft pick on him, and it's for a very specific reason, because he brings a certain mindset to the roster, theoretically, and is a tenacious on-ball defender and perimeter defender. So get excited about it if you want. That is what Summer League is about. It is about packing an arena to cheer for an Ace Bailey three-pointer. That is what Summer League is about. It's about getting excited about Bronny James or once upon a time Josh Selby. But in reality, like if Jamal Mashak is a meaningful member of the Grizzlies next season, what that means is that something has gone terribly wrong. And I say that as respectfully as I can say it. I'm not trying to make anything more of it than what it is. But like the hope for using a pick on somebody like him is that someday you're in a playoff series and he is actually on your real roster because he has developed in enough ways to be on your real roster. Keep in mind, that's the first step to all this. If you want to see him, you're probably going to have to drive 55 south. But eventually, you hope that he can be on your main roster. This is if it works out. This is why you use a pick on him. He's good enough to be on your main roster, and then good enough to be inserted in a game, and then good enough to make a play on the defensive end of the court where afterward, when Brian Windhorst is on TV talking to Scott Van Pelt, he says, man, Jamal Mashak, the second-round pick from 2025, the Grizzlies really invested in him, developed in him, and this is the payoff. He made a key play in Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals. That's what you're hoping for, but all of that is obviously unlikely. But again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to get excited about. If people are excited about the possible debut of Jemai Mashak tonight, I'll be there for it too.
It's Summer League, baby. I mean, listen, I watched Thunder fans here on Saturday get overwhelmingly excited about Brooks Barnhizer.
There you go.
And him having 13 rebounds and them being like, oh, we got another one of these Thunder rotation players who someday is going to pop up, and you're going to be reflecting back on the Thunder taking Brooks Barnhizer with the 43rd pick in the 2025 draft, and look at him now being a part of the, once again, Thunder contender, and in their minds, Thunder dynasty that has begun with their first championship this year. But that is kind of what Summer League's for. And you don't have to make too much of it. But as you said earlier, it does provide fun content, fun conversations in the meantime. I am curious from your perspective of kind of the Grizzlies offseason at large. Obviously, once the moratorium ends, you can start to talk about the deals. We see the 7-team trade go down. We saw Jay Huff get moved to the Indiana Pacers yesterday. I am now saying Jock jams with Jock Landale is the new Huff stuff. So if Pete Pranica wants to take that one, if we're working through some Jock Landale jams of any kind next season, that's where we've shifted the perspective. But just from the overall Grizzlies moves of the offseason and where you look at this team as either being one that is improved, got worse, or some mysterious in-between category that we don't quite know yet.
So here's the thing, and this is just sort of interesting to think about, but I believe both of these things are true. I more or less agree, and even if I don't necessarily agree, certainly understand every move that has been made. The decision to move off of Desmond Bane, the decision to then use those assets in part to move up in the draft to select Cedric Coward, the move to move Jay Huff, and basically replace him in your front court with Jock Landale. Like, I understand every move, but I also believe it is probably, if you just sit down and look at roster heading into last season, roster heading into this season, you have diminished the roster as it pertains to what is expected next season. It doesn't mean that the roster, the same version of it, can't be better in 2 years or 3 years, but in the immediate, in the short term, it looks like it will be an inferior basketball team as it pertains to the 2025-26 season. And there's some numbers that suggest that or underline it. I saw projected win totals published for the first time. I get these things emailed me all the time. I think this one was Bet Online, but it said in projected win totals for the NBA season, first time we're putting them out all year. And I'll just ask you, what do you think the Grizzlies was? The Grizzlies won 48 games last season. What do you think it is heading into next season as of this moment, according to one betting service that emailed me this morning?
38.
Jess, you want to bet? Guess?
41.
She can't bet on NBA games.
It's 40.5. You guys are both close.
41.
40.5.
I'm so close.
You're very close, but it's 40.5. So that's the betting markets right now believe the Grizzlies are going to, in the regular season next season, win fewer games than they just got through winning in what we all described a disappointing season. So there's nothing unique to what I'm about to say. I think other people have said it in their own words, but this is the way I interpret what has happened. They have decided the Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane core was going nowhere of significance. We thought it was once upon a time. Other people in the NBA thought it might once upon a time. But we had reached the point after several years of it for a variety of reasons where it was not working, and they felt like the person they needed to move off of for a variety of reasons, not just talent, but contract stuff as well, was Desmond Bane. They move off of him. I understand why you do that. You bring in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You just try to figure out what you're going to do from that point forward. Do you use these assets to bring in another veteran and create our new third best player as a veteran? Or do we think the better long-term play is to invest in a prospect that we believe in, move up to get him, and maybe he won't be our third best player in year one as a rookie? I'm talking about Cedric Coward. But could he be by the time he's 23 in year two? 24 in year three. Chet Holmgren was just the third best player on an NBA championship team at the age of 23 in his second year of actually playing in the NBA. Could Cedric Coward maybe not be that? That's a high bar to set. And Chet Holmgren was a top 5 pick. Cedric Coward was not. But can he be that? Is it possible Cedric Coward will be better in year 2 or year 3 than anybody we could trade for right now to be our third best player? That is, on some level, the bet that they are making. And I understand the bet, and I co-sign it. I think it's a smart bet to make, or at least it's perhaps the best bet to make under these circumstances. But most people, and I think Zach Kleiman might even believe this, if you ask them, okay, but what does that do for 2025-26? They say it probably takes you a little bit of a step backwards. You're taking the classic small step back in theory so you can perhaps take a big step forward, but not in the next season that we're about to watch. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think I've settled into the space of you can be incredibly optimistic about the offseason moves by the Memphis Grizzlies in the 2025 offseason, and you can view them as good. You can say the Grizzlies had a good offseason, and you can also treat that with a realistic lens that on paper, they probably are a worse team. And like you said, the betting markets say they will win less games next season than they won this year. And I always go back to the phrase of like linear progression that I think was coming out of which series was it, when they lost to the Lakers? But this idea of progress in the NBA cannot always be linear. It's not like it's a graph that's just like this. Sometimes you got to go down to go back up. And obviously there's been steps down the last 2 seasons. But when you look at the moves that have been made this offseason in particular, and betting on someone like a Cedric Coward, believing in someone like a Jaylen Wells to continue to progress forward, you're playing the long game. And that's what sports is. And if you have an ounce of hope in that long game, and I'll go back to what the Jazz are dealing with here in Utah, it doesn't feel very hopeful here. There is still great reason to have hope in the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think that's a pretty solid place to be. It might not be the sexiest place to be, but I think it's a really solid place to be going into next year.
And that's where we're at. And it doesn't mean that next season can't be good. Like, what does just a healthy Ja Morant season look like for the Memphis Grizzlies? It's been a long time since we've known, but perhaps next season is the season we are reminded of that, and he returns to All-NBA level. It just means that on paper, the betting market suggests this is probably going to go, as you put it, down before it theoretically goes back up. But the bet is a bet that I understand. The bet is a bet that I think is sensible. But let's be clear about what the bet is. And it's more than this. I don't mean to make it about one thing or one player, but they have made an enormous bet on Cedric Coward. They believe that he is the best option. In this moment, let's just call it late June, early July 2025, where they decided to remake the roster, they believed the best thing they could do to set Ja and Jaren up to maybe win a championship someday in Memphis is to bring Cedric Coward into this organization. That is the bet. And that is a big bet to make on the 11th pick in the draft. It's one thing to make that bet on Chet Holmgren, where he's picked and where he's regarded coming out of high school and college. It's one thing to make that bet on the number 1 pick in the draft, the 3rd pick in the draft. In next year's draft, where the top 3 are going to be Darren Peterson, AJ DeBansa, Cameron Boozer. If you're tying your whole future, making a big bet on one of those guys, there is a bunch of NBA people who will tell you that is a smart thing to do. The list of 11th picks in the draft that you can make big bets on is very short, but that is what they've done. I understand it. I actually agree with it, but that is the bet, and it's a big bet, and it's risky as well.
Hey, you know your brain is fried on Summer League when you say sensible, and my brain goes, Bryce Sensabaugh will be playing against the Grizzlies in Utah tonight. GP, thanks for joining us as always on a Monday. We will catch up with you next time. You can catch Gary on his show coming up at 10 a.m. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get into some all-star naming happened over the weekend, both in Major League Baseball and the WNBA. Who was snubbed with the WNBA All-Star reserves? We'll get into that when we come back.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
Tony Allen joining us. I believe we. Hey!
Young TA with a fresh chop. That boy sliced today, boy. You say that boy got the tape on the side? Okay, TA.
Hey, and I like how you blurred out your background so we can't see that La Quinta this time.
Can't see the hole in the wall, TA.
Can't see the hole in the wall.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes me off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Manipulate it if you got the right sort of smarts to it. And I just don't think that PS 118, no disrespect, is super smart.
Welcome back. CJ, thanks for the bright idea of closing the shades and relying on the ring light, because I think I was catching a sunburn. I was getting a little toasty. You know, I don't want to ruin my tan.
Did you burn at the beach?
Antigua. No, I did really well. I got the smallest of. We had a boat day, and when you get out on a boat, sometimes bad things happen to this pasty skin. But Chris and I did very good. We did not get intense sunburn, so I can't ruin it now doing my show with the window open in Salt Lake City. That would be quite embarrassing. Hey, one Grizzlies note that we didn't get to. We did not give a proper goodbye to Yuki Kawamura, who has been so big for our show and for this organization. And I will genuinely miss end of game Yuki moments. Those were some of the funnest times that we had last season with the Memphis Grizzlies. But the anticipation is that the Grizzlies will use their two-way contracts on their two rookies, Small and Meshack. And then that third one, obviously Zion Poland, someone who's on a two-way last year. But I am of the belief that perhaps they try to go the route they did last season when they found Jay Huff, where they're looking for a big who can fill that role, whether it be someone like an Armando Bacot, who spent time with the Hustle last year and is on the Summer League team, or Lawson Leverling. You talk about another big alliteration name. He's on the Grizzlies Summer League team. He played at the University of Utah, so he's playing on his home court. It is weird having the games at the University of Utah this year. They're usually played at the Delta Center, where the Jazz play, but the Delta Center is under construction because they have to make some changes for their hockey team, the Mammoth, or Utah Hockey Club. I think they settled on their mascot, didn't they, on the Mammoth? There's tusks everywhere. So that's what I keep seeing tusks. But so because of the construction that's going on, they have to play at the University of Utah, which is just, it feels odd playing it at a high school arena, which shouldn't, because then you go to Vegas and they're small arenas too, or a college arena, not high school. My God. I have bad memories at the University of Utah because the last time I went to a sporting event there was the USC Utah game where Dalton Kincaid ruined my life and lost USC the game, or USC lost the game in the last 20 seconds. But all that to be said, I am curious if one of these bigs ends up emerging. And I know that was part of your chat question of the day. What are you looking forward to watching during Grizzlies Summer League? And with 56% of the vote, Wells and Gigi looking awesome. Production from the rookie class getting 20%. Tomas Isolo's coaching acumen 14%. And then 10% voting for emergence, maybe, of a backup center or someone to add to that big room, as we talked about the thinness of the Grizzlies front court. So you could always find that with one of the two-way players, perhaps, that you could find throughout the Summer League experience. Okay, CJ, you survived Summer League Day 1 talk. Congratulations. You watched 9 innings of baseball. Did you watch the Major League Baseball All-Star selection?
No, but I did order my big dumper shirt. It'll be here.
Oh, you did?
I need that dumper. Give it to me.
You were born to wear a big dumper shirt. I have to say, shout out to my dad, who texted us yesterday to make sure that we knew that a Memphian was named an All-Star in the MLB All-Star game that'll take place next weekend. But actually, it's 2 Memphians who are All-Stars, because you have Hunter Goodman, who's catcher for the Rockies, and then Brent Rooker there, who's the DH for the A's, and he's a Germantown native. This is his second All-Star nod. And for Hunter Goodman, who is from Arlington, he went to the University of Memphis, signed with the Rockies 3 years ago, and my very, very, very terribly struggling Colorado Rockies, who do still have the best fireworks show in Major League Baseball. I will say that forever. They played the White Sox on 4th of July. Both those teams are so stinky stanky, and yet it was a sold-out crowd, because everybody in Colorado knows there is one place to watch the fireworks, and it is at Coors Field. And if you can ever go to Coors Field for a 4th of July, highly recommend it, because those fireworks blow any other fireworks that I've ever seen out of the water. The Rockies are terrible. They have 69 losses at this point this season.
Nice.
So that is a not nice. That's an anti-nice for the Rockies. But shout out to Hunter Goodman and to Brent Rooker. You get 2 Memphians representing the wonderful state of Memphis in this year's MLB All-Star game that will be played on July 15th. Then we also yesterday got the WNBA naming their All-Star reserves. They are going to do their All-Star team selections on Tuesday, where you will have Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier draft their teams. But the reserves this year are rookies Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Paige Beckers, Skylar Diggins, Ryan Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton, Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams, and Jackie Young. And of course, Paige Becker is not a reserve. She's a starter. But this is the first time in WNBA history that 3 rookies make the game. So you have Paige, Kiki, and Sonia. Love seeing vets like Kayla Thornton and Gabby Williams get the recognition. And as is always the case with all-star selections, you immediately turn to the, so-and-so snubbed so bad in this year's all-star list for the WNBA. And there are some like pretty evident snubs in the W. I think Jonquil Jones stands out. Obviously her injury is the reason that she doesn't get all-star status this year, but she herself tweeted like it's tough to play like an all-star and not get the all-star designation. But that's something that happens when you're dealing with the injury that she has. I thought Brittany Sykes was an interesting stub, Bree Jones, Azura Stevens. And then the one that really made me just pause and think, God, she should really be an all-star is Alana Smith with the Lynx. Because I would argue Alana Smith has been maybe the second most important player for the Lynx this season. Like she's been killing it. She's the defensive anchor of the team. She's tied for blocks with Asia Wilson. I know Courtney Williams is very, very important too. You can make the argument between the two of them for the most important number 2 to Nafisa Collier. But Courtney Williams was named an all-star. And for a team as good as the Lynx, I just think that they should have had 3 all-stars instead of 2. Is there anything that stood out to you with the reserves name, CJ?
Outside of it being 3 rookies making all-star appearances, not really. I'm fine with it. All-stars, there's always going to be somebody deserving left off of an all-star selection. So I kind of just shrug my shoulders when people start complaining about that sort of thing. That's pretty much it on the All-Star. I look forward to seeing who's going to play with who. I think it's interesting. The most interesting thing I saw was that why am I blanking on the Lynx's coach's name? But she's not going to get the coach fee. She coaches because they've got the best record in the W. She coaches the team that is captained by the player that got the most votes, which is Caitlin Clark. And so
it's Cheryl Reeve.
Yeah. So
you had all that drama last season. So
yeah. So seeing them have to work together in this game, I don't know, man. It's an all-star game. It is. Summer League is here. All-star games are about right there on the list of stuff.
So you have All-Star ahead of Summer League. I would put Summer League ahead of All-Star.
That's fine. Cool.
Because at least you get multiple games. They're games that people are trying to prove themselves in, and you might not be trying to win the game, but you're trying to win your spot, win your reputation, win whatever. So I think there's a little more care factor, which is terrible news for NBA All-Star. Because if I'm putting Summer League ahead of NBA All-Star, we have entirely lost the plot, which we have. So maybe I'll put WNBA All-Star, Summer League, NBA All-Star. The only other thing that
I'm putting
all All-Stars together.
Because again, don't really care much about all All-Star games in general.
Right.
So the Pro Bowl, MLB, NBA, WNBA, NHL, whatever they're going to call it, whatever the hell that is, put it all just right there, slightly above Summer League. Just a little bit.
I did like that Angel Reese was named an all-star, and I love that she came out with new merch immediately. Knee bounds, she bounds, all-star bound. Good stuff from Angel Reese. But she has been on a tear these last 5 games. Oh, we have
breaking news. Clippers, Jazz, and the Heat have agreed to a trade that sends Norman Powell to Miami, John Collins to LA, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 Clippers second-round pick to the Jazz. All right. Stuff is happening still.
I was told it was going to be the most dramatic offseason of all time. And instead, we're still getting news here on July 7th. Hold on, I got to look at that again. Did Jacob send that to the group? Hold on, throw that back up. So Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have agreed to a trade that sends Norman Powell to Miami, John Collins to Los Angeles, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 Clippers second-round pick to the Jazz. Well, I'll go on the streets and ask the Jazz fans if they're ready for old Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson to be needle movers for them this season. Obviously not. No, that's very interesting with Norman Powell to the Heat, though. Intriguing. We still haven't heard anything for Bradley Beal, right? Because isn't there some anticipation that he's going to get bought out and could end up in Miami?
Yeah. We hadn't heard anything yet.
All right, we'll continue to wait. I guess we're reported allegedly season never ends.
Is this a reported or alleged? It's after July 6th, so all of this is
so
official.
I guess everything's yeah. Well, until you see it.
It's not official technically? It's not? Are we sure it's not official technically?
Well, no, it's never official until you see it from the team.
Put your hands up then. It's
I
here.
didn't think I was going to get it.
You got it.
I was going to get it.
This is being reported, y'all. It's alleged. Allegedly. Not saying it's true. Not saying it's false. It's reported, y'all.
Allegedly. Let the crowd sing.
Allegedly.
It's alleged. Reported.
I'm just very confused by it.
We don't want no fines.
No fines.
We not
But I
trying
would like
to tamper.
an explanation.
Allegedly.
Huh.
Reportedly.
I saw some Clippers fans really wanting John Collins. So congratulations to those fans for getting John Collins on the Clippers. After
Why did
all,
they
losing
want him?
Norm Powell. They like the fit.
How? Why? Like, I don't understand. Tell me about the fit. Somebody describe that fit for me.
Well, then you would have. So who's your starting five for Clippers without Norman Powell is Harden, Kawhi, Zubac, John Collins in this situation, and who's their fifth? Dunn?
Trey Mann?
Yeah.
Is Trey Mann on that?
No,
I don't know.
Dunn.
Okay.
It'd be Dunn.
Derek Jones?
Terrence Mann.
Him too. Him too. Throw him out there.
Huh. Intriguing. Well, the never stops. I was trying to give Angel Reese her props, but let the record state that I was interrupted by the MNBA in the process. She's been awesome. She's been incredible. Like, truly. The team, not good. The team, very not good. But you look at Angel Reese, who's the first WNBA player in history with 15 plus rebounds in 5 straight games. And she's actually had like 16 in each of them. So I'm looking at someone who is continuing to get better despite being in a tough situation this year. And she's also been, she's been a good teammate through it. She's been supportive of the coach, despite the team not being particularly anything to write home about. I think it's been a nice season for Angel Reese, and she stayed positive, she stayed supportive, and she's improving. Like, the Point Angel experiment is starting to look pretty good. And I enjoy watching a solid player make strides that can help her carve out her place in this league for a long time. And in terms of being an all-star this year, like, she's earned it. Like, there will be haters always who come out of the cracks and the holes and their troll holes and want to say Angel Reese shouldn't be an all-star, but like, she's putting up all-star numbers this season. And I listened to an interview with her talking about being named an all-star, and she said this year means so much because like she really had to drag it out of the mud, right? Like, it was a really tough start to the year, and she's kind of found her footing within it all. And that's an exciting thing for her. The Chicago Sky still stink, though.
If your critique of Angel is all she does is rebound her own misses, like, okay, you're not watching. Because she's 10 defensive rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds, 13 defensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, right? Like, she is doing that the past 4 or 5 games, and that's just defensive rebounds. And then you throw in the offensive rebounds, and you're like, oh, no, she is a legitimate rebounding force. And then you throw on top of that the improvements she's made, both handling the ball and playmaking with the ball in her hand as well. Yeah, the Point Angel thing, it's taken a while, but it's got here, and we talked about it some while you were out, Jessica, how impressed I've been the past 2 or 3 games, but now like 6 or 7 games, with how good Angel Reese has been with the ball in her hands. And there's not a whole lot of positives to find when you watch Sky games. Angel Reese is that, though. And so if she can continue to do that, we could be talking about Angel Reese. Like, and I don't feel like I have to whisper this the same way I have to whisper my MVP take. I feel like I can say full-throatedly Angel Reese, most improved player of the year in the W if she continues on this trend.
Yeah, there's a real case for that to be made. All right, time flies when you're having fun talking about Summer League. It's 8:26. Let's do a quick Hot Mess Express before we get out of here and into the rest of our Monday. I've got a Summer League shoot-around to get out to at the University of Utah. I was really excited to watch USA-Mexico yesterday in the Gold Cup.
Oh, you watched it too?
USA scored. Yeah, then they scored like 4 minutes in, and I was like, yeah, red, white, and blue, let's go. And then they never scored again, and they lost. And I'm not surprised. I'm just forever disappointed. But like, this was expected. They were playing without their best guys. They lost 4 matches going into the tournament. They get to that game yesterday. I know the glass half full approach is the key reserves having gotten some run during Gold Cup play. I like that Diego Luna a lot. But it is not lost on me that the World Cup is here next year. We're like less than a year away from it starting now. I just don't want us to be embarrassed, CJ. I just don't want us to be embarrassed on our home turf, on our home pitch.
Well, get ready. CONCACAF. Well, and also, what are you expecting from Team USA?
Exactly.
You're not
That's
expecting
the
a
problem.
whole lot from them. Get in there, maybe draw somebody and then be out, right? Like that's best case scenario, I think, for the United States from time to time as it pertains to soccer. This is any CONCACAF competition for me is a lot like Summer League, where it doesn't tell me anything about how good you are. It will tell me, though, how bad you are. And the fact that the U.S. got there, knocked off Guatemala in the semis, and then got through to the finals, or knocked off Guatemala in the quarters, I think, either way it goes, and got to the finals. It's like, okay, they're not just piss poor. They're almost respectable. Not really, but almost kind of respectable. And that's all. Like, that's the bar for USA soccer, is to be a top 3, top 4 team in CONCACAF. And as long as you do that, like, okay, fine. We're all right. We can figure the rest of it out later. Eventually in my lifetime, maybe they'll get to a World Cup final or something like that. Probably not, but maybe. A man can dream. I can dream. But yeah, you knew Mexico was going to, they tied it up at 1-1, and then they just had possession the entire damn match. It's like, holy hell, one of these is going to get in there. Eventually, Mexico is going to get a bucket.
Watching soccer. It was the epitome of why I don't hate watching. Like, it's not my favorite thing in the world to watch. They had the ball the whole time. The inevitability of it felt like I just never felt like the U.S. had a chance.
We see that in football. You get a good team that's good at running the football, and it's one of those.
PJ.
Oh, my fault. I forgot. America.
That's America football.
Damn right. 9 more Sundays till regular season NFL action, by the way.
Thanks for keeping track.
You're welcome.
In the meantime, I'll be watching Summer League. I'll be watching tennis. Wimbledon continues today. It's that time of the year. We will be back. Be sure to join us, Grind City Media, tonight. The Grizzlies game against the Utah Jazz. The crowd should be good tonight for the Grizzlies Jazz game. That is at 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock here in Utah. And we will have the Grind City Media pregame show at 7:45. I think tonight's crew is Rob Fisher, Pete Pranica, CJ Hurt himself behind the booth. Is there anyone else there tonight, CJ?
Why would I know that?
Because you're the producer extraordinaire, producer with a mic. Your
just over
voice
here
will be
pushing
heard.
I'm just over here pushing it.
Well, we will see you there because.
So yeah, you said Rob, Pete, you,
me, and you.
That's
We're
it.
back.
I think that's it.
We're so back.
Yeah.
Grizzlies Jazz tonight. A reminder, you can stream all of this year's Summer League games on the Grind City Media app. We'll have the pregame show for you starting 15 minutes before. We'll have a little postgame show for you as well. We'll see you then. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday. Bye.